Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we began a 5-part series on one of the most critical topics in not only the United States, but almost worldwide, and that's the topic of divorce. We will look today at a simple definition of divorce that is honestly accepted worldwide, and then we will talk about the pain that divorce creates within a family. We will then talk about divorce's impact specifically on the children within a family. And then we will look at divorce and the spiritual impact that it has on relationships. And then we will look at divorce and relationships in general. Looking at the relationships of friends, looking at the relationships of extended family members, looking at the relationships in a work environment that are impacted by divorce. So today, let's focus our attention on simply defining divorce. According to most law dictionaries, divorce is the dissolution of a marriage. It is a radical or complete severance of a once intimate connection, a connective bond between two people. According to Webster's dictionary, it is the act of dissolving a marriage legally. It is the severance or the separation away from a marriage. So, according to legal dictionaries and also according to Webster's dictionary, it is generally agreed that the marriage divorce is the moving away, the severance of what once was a connective covenant relationship. Within this divorce, it has within its meaning of divorce the meaning divert. It's a diversion or a moving of one's attention, one's emotions, one's actions, one's physical self toward another focus. So built into the meaning of the word divorce is also divergent or divergency. It's the moving away or the refocusing, the recapturing of one's attention, one's emotions, one's actions, one's physical self into another direction. Let's talk about the types of divorce as we move into a working definition of what divorce really entails. Type 1 divorce is what I call a at-fault reverse or divorce. It is one which has at its base, by at least one of the parties involved, some type misconduct that is against the covenant entered into initially by the couple. The specific fault or faults are going to vary, however, from person to person in terms of the magnitude as well as the ultimate decision to divorce. So when we look at the type 1 divorce, we're looking at divorces that really have a fault, something that has broken covenant within it. Let's talk quickly about type 2 divorce. This is considered a no-fault divorce. It's one that does not require either individual to have or to prove any type relational violations leading to the decision to divorce. It in essence says one or both of the individuals make a unilateral or bilateral decision that they just don't want to be in the covenant anymore. I don't know how healthy that is, but it's considered a type 2 or a no fault, we just walk away divorce. Now, there is a third arena that we call separation. Separations, legal separations that is, requires the couple to be apart or not to cohabitate with each other. And in that legal separation where they are to be apart, the couple is also prohibited in many states from being sexually intimate with each other while they are legally separated. While legally separated, they are also prohibited from having sexual activities with anyone else. So during this legal separation, the couples are not to cohabitate with anyone else, and they're not to be sexually active with anyone else. And this gives a space for the couples to rethink their determination to move on with life as they think it should be. When we look at the definition of divorce, divorce is one of the most painful experiences an individual will ever deal with in terms of the emotional impact on the people involved. Divorce involves family, it involves friends, it involves religion, it involves property, it involves children, it involves communities, it involves finances, it involves feelings, it involves memories, and the list could go on and on and on. Let's talk quickly about the biblical definition. It means to cut off, to sever the covenant, that which was cut. Remember, marriage is a covenant. It is not a contract. So the marriage covenant that was cut is now being cut off. The male and the female that were in covenant with each other, cut covenant with each other, are now cutting out of covenant with each other. That simply means they are eliminating that which was. In the New Testament, I want you to look at a Bible passage, in the Old Testament book of Deuteronomy. Look at chapter 24, verses 1 and 2. There is fault, but there's actually no fault. So when you look at divorce, no fault, there is actually fault, because if there wasn't some level of fault, then why are the individuals walking away from each other? But the text of Deuteronomy 24 is a very intriguing study. When a man hath taken a wife, married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanliness in her. See, it's a fault, but it's an insignificant fault. Then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it to her in her hand, and send her out of his house. Break the covenant. But understand, in the text of Deuteronomy 24, it is defining the breaching of this covenant as an insignificant fault. And yet there is a fault involved. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. So in this breaching of the covenant on insignificant matters, the Deuteronomy 24 text says, give her the bill and let her go, but because it is not with fault, then she is free to go. Come back to class again, and we'll talk further about divorce. I'll see you back in class again tomorrow. Don't be late, and don't skip class.